Hey, what's going on everyone? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another new video. And for you guys today, I have a guide on the Bunker E15, the legendary Lost Sector. We're going to be going over what's a good loadout to run this Lost Sector, and the way to easily beat it. We're going to keep it simple, we're going to keep it easy, and hopefully you guys will be able to farm this Lost Sector, and get some of those nice Beyond Light exotics. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it, and let's start with the loadout. Okay, so we're going to be running this on a Stasis Hunter. And actually, before I get to the weapons, this mission is 1250. So I recommend that you're at least 1220 before you go in there. Anything under that is going to make the mission really difficult. And I feel like at 1220, it's a good point where you can still beat the mission, but it's still going to be a bit difficult. But as long as you follow the steps that I'm going to tell you, you should be able to complete it. Now, the first thing that we're going to need, it has to do with our Stasis class, and it's going to be this grenade. We're going to be running the Dusk Field grenade, and yes, this is going to be a big part of us actually beating this thing. So definitely run this nade. It is a big part of the loadout, and it's going to make the loadout work. Now for our primary weapon, our kinetic weapon, any kinetic auto rifle really works. I have the false promises because I really like this one, but it doesn't really have to be this one. It could be any kinetic auto rifle. Next up, we have the Ariana's Bow. This is basically the biggest part of the loadout. This is going to be our DPS. This is what's going to allow us to deal with the barrier champions. And besides, the Ariana's Bow is just a really good weapon to have whenever you're doing any champion related activity. So if you guys don't have this one, go pick it up at the kiosk next to the bolts. Now next up, for the heavy, we're going to be running a sword. It doesn't really have to be the Falling Guillotine. It could be any sword really, but this one's definitely the best. It's still the one that does the most damage, but any of them should really work. Now, the final thing that we're going to be taking a look at is our artifact mods, because we are going to need a couple of these, mostly from the 4th column. You don't really have to have the 5th column unlocked, because we're going to take just 2 from here. But before we get to that, we need some overload rounds for our auto rifle. And then the other 2 mods that we're going to be running are Search Eater and Thermal Overload. Search Eater will give us our grenade energy back whenever we disrupt the champion. And then Thermal Overload will let us disrupt champions with our nade. And these 2 mods work amazingly with each other. We disrupt champions with our nade, and that gives us our nade back. Meaning that we could pretty much just have unlimited nades as long as we're stunning champions with those nades. It's insane. And even if we don't stun a champion with a nade, if we stun it with our auto rifle, thanks to the overload rounds, we also get a nade back. So it's just an easy way to get your nade back. So we're definitely going to be running both of these. And they both go on the class item. They're both pretty cheap. 2 and 1 energy costs for a total of 3. And it's going to make this thing just super easy. So those are the main things of the build. For the Hunter, I ran the Wormhusk Crown just to get a bit extra health back, but it's not really necessary. I just really like it. It adds a bit of survivability. And you don't really have to run this on the Hunter. You know, all the other classes work, but that's just like the Hunter specific thing that we have here. Wormhusk Crown, pretty great. Okay, so now that we have our setup, now let's actually talk about running the Lost Sector. Okay, so for this beginning part, what you want to do is just kind of throw a nade as soon as you spawn. You're going to freeze some enemies in the middle, and you want to kill them. After that, you kind of want to stay here in the spawn, just kind of peeking, seeing if you can see some ads, because you want to take care of most of the ads first. There's going to be a champion down there, but you don't really have to fight him till you deal with the ads. So you just kind of poke around, see the ads, kill them, and then once all the ads are killed, we're going to deal with the champion. And there's actually a pretty easy way to deal with these overload champions. And is, first, you hit them with the auto rifle, you disrupt them, throw the nade, and then you just run at them and start swinging the sword at it. Seems kind of dangerous, but it's actually really safe. The disruption is going to be long enough for you to actually get next to them, and that's when the grenade starts doing its thing. It's going to start slowing him down, it's going to freeze him, so he's never really ever going to fight back. Just make sure that as soon as you disrupt him with your auto rifle, you just throw a nade at him. He's going to be standing still, so it's not like he's going to move out of the way with the nade. As long as the nade lands right on him, you should be good to go. And then you gotta release the homies. The homies are gonna be a big part of the strike, and they actually make it pretty easy. They actually really are the MVPs of the Lost Sector. They take aggro from the enemies, so they won't be attacking you all the time, and they also do some pretty good damage. I did not expect them to actually do damage, but yeah, they could deal with the smaller ads pretty nicely. So release them, and every time you find any of them, make sure that you release them, because they're gonna make the boss fight just so much easier. Now on this hallway, just kind of be careful. There's gonna be a Minotaur, so you wanna make sure that you have your sword out. If you have a stasis nade, throw a stasis nade at it so he gets frozen, but you just wanna take him out as quickly as possible. He's basically the only threat here. You just take him out. He's probably gonna aggro one of your homies, one of the bots, so take that chance to just take him out. Now for this next room, you pretty much want to stay close to the entrance. When in doubt, stay close to the entrance, because that's usually the safest spot. And we're just going to be picking off some enemies. Also, there's going to be multiple places where you can free some allies, some of the homies. So there's going to be one in the far back corner, one in the far right corner, and one on the left corner. So you could release them, and they're going to be dealing with the ads. And we're just going to sit back here, pick up the ads, up until the Cyclops spawns. It's going to spawn right in the middle. And all you got to do is just pretty much hug the corner on the left. And then you're going to be able to just kind of peek shoot it with the Ariana. The Ariana actually takes it out pretty quickly. So not even that many shots, and that thing's going to go down. And he's one of the main things that we want to take out. As soon as he spawns, try to take care of him. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is that there is going to be one Minotaur just kind of roaming around the place. And if you see him, kind of throw a stasis nade at him and just kind of try to break his shield with the Ariana. If he gets too close, you can use the sword, but just try to keep him at a distance. It's better to keep him at a distance, so you see him really far away and you get him with a nade, frozen, do that. Freeze him, unload the Ariana into him, and hopefully you'll be able to kill him. Now, when most of the ads are dead, when the Cyclops is dead, when the Minotaur is dead, now you're going to have to deal with the champion in here. Thankfully, it's just a barrier champion. It is going to be a hobgoblin though, so you want to be very careful. You come to this bridge right here, and just kind of take cover, and then just kind of peek shoot him. And whenever he does his barrier, 3 or 4 bullets from the Ariana will probably take it out. So keep always that in mind, to always have some ammo on the Ariana for whenever he does his shield, because the last thing you want is for him to fully regen. So always make sure that you have the Ariana loaded to deal with that shield. If you don't have a lot of Ariana ammo, what you want to do is just proc his first shield, shoot the Ariana, break it, and then just kind of just rush him with the sword and hit him. Yeah, it's going to deal with him. It does save some ammo, but it's a little bit more dangerous. That's why I tell you, just kind of stay on the bridge and just kill him with the Ariana, if you have the ammo for it. Now, for the boss fight. And to the surprise of no one, the easiest and safest spot, and the spot that we're going to pretty much use most of the boss fight, is going to be right here in the entrance. We're just going to stay around here, and if there's a big group of ads or there's a big enemy coming, we could always fall back to the ramp where we have a bit of cover thanks to our elevation difference. So if you're dealing with a big group of ads, you kind of want to funnel them into here because it makes dealing with them a little bit easier. Also, the harpy with legs. Definitely freeze that thing. If you have something to freeze it, a nade or something, freeze it because it does so much damage. And if you freeze it, it's still a 50-50 chance, depending on how much health it has, that it's gonna break out and kill you, like it did to me this run. Sometimes I get him, sometimes he gets me. It's, you know, who's keeping count, really. After you deal with some of the ads and the harpy, then you're good to go for starting boss damage. And for the boss damage, the boss is actually the easiest thing to deal with. The boss is aggro, and who he attacks is mostly the AI. So you can use sit back and shoot him with the Ariana. The Ariana is gonna be our main DPS. And what's great about the Ariana is you don't really have to worry about the shields. You can shoot straight through. So as long as you can see that crit, you can always hit that crit. Now when you do enough damage, he's actually gonna teleport right in front of you. And this is the most dangerous part of this boss fight pretty much. So you wanna get him out of there as quickly as you can. He's also gonna spawn some ads, so you probably wanna deal with the ads first and then try to do some damage to the boss. So he gets out of there. So he gets out of your personal space close to the entrance. This is also when he's going to spawn a champion, so just be careful with that. The champion most likely will go after the AI, as well as the boss. But if the boss starts turning towards you when you're doing some damage to it, get back into cover and really far away, because that splash damage really hurts. And after you go back into cover, he's gonna go back to shooting the AI. So you shoot him a bit until you get him out of there, and once you get him out of there, then you're good to go for killing some of the other ads around and also dealing with the first champion. Once again, with the champion, we're gonna do the same thing that we did to the captain at the beginning. We're gonna shoot it with the auto rifle, throw the nade at him, and then kill him with the sword. This one is just such an easy way to deal with the champions. Definitely the easiest way to deal with them. Don't worry about the boss. He's gonna be on the other side once you move him, and he's gonna be shooting your AI buddies. After you deal with all the ads and the Minotaur, then you could do some more damage to the boss, and he's gonna spawn one last set of ads and also another Minotaur. So you go back to the entrance, deal with some of the ads, and then you're gonna deal with the Minotaur once again after you deal with the ads. Same way, auto rifle, grenade, sword, and after you're done with that, there's pretty much just gonna be the boss left. And after this, you can just shoot him from the entrance if you want. You could get a little bit closer so you can get some crits, but doesn't really matter. Just make sure that you kill him. He's probably gonna be busy shooting your little buddies, so he's probably not even gonna notice you. And after that, that's it. You have beat the Lost Sector. I think this is probably one of the easiest Lost Sectors to beat, just because the homies, the AI, they're the real MVPs and just make it so easy. But yeah, get your rewards and hopefully you're gonna have some good luck and get some exotics. Unfortunately, it is not guaranteed, so you're probably gonna have to run a couple of times before you get an exotic. To get the exotic, it took me I think 6-7 times running this. I don't know if that's lucky, I don't know if that's unlucky. By the way, it wasn't too bad. But the more you do this Lost Sector, the easier it's gonna get, and the faster you're gonna complete it. This one is one of my first runs, because I didn't want to show you some of the other runs that are a little bit faster. I wanted to show you some of the first runs, so you can see how I was kind of dealing with things when I wasn't super familiar with the Lost Sector. But anyways, with that, we're going to end today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already. I really hope this video has helped you. If you think someone will benefit from this video, send it to them. It helps the channel, it helps people also get some exotics, so win-win, right? Anyways, take care everyone, have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.